Hi guys, and welcome to another Fool of the Week. Yes, it's extremely early for such an award, but I think Gavin Williamson is certainly a candidate. So what did he do wrong? Well, as we know, there are a number of issues that the new Labour government have to deal with after 14 years of neglect. The NHS is on its knees, public services cut to the bone, councils on the brink of bankruptcy, and of course housing. Tories like Michael Gove, for example, had promised to build affordable and social housing. They had set targets that didn't even meet demand. Then they failed to reach even those. Now the new administration wants to correct that, but for some reason Gavin isn't too happy.
Today, Labour have announced that they are going to put centrally imposed housing targets. They are going to rip up the Greenbelt, they're going to concrete over the countryside. This is about them saying that Whitehall knows best. It's not about local communities having the decision. It's going to be imposed by Angela Rayner. I will be fighting against this. I will be fighting on your side.
Oh my goodness, okay. The Tories have not built enough houses over the last 14 years, and now that there's a new administration in who are saying, look, we actually want to build enough affordable houses. Now, they've mentioned affordable, it's a term that's quite vague, but anyway, they're saying we need to build more houses, which is correct, and the Tories are attacking that, or at least one Tory in particular. Now, he mentioned a few things here. Centrally imposed housing targets. Why is that a problem? Like, if the government are looking at, okay, these are the requirements that we have for housing, then of course they have to impose them from central government. It will be, at the end of the day, councils that will decide whether these projects get planning permission, but the government have to set a target at the governmental level. Like, you didn't have a problem before having housing targets. Now you seem to have these problems. Now, he also mentioned the Greenbelt, and the Greenbelt is there's a bit of a misunderstanding. There's this idea that it's just fields and countryside. Yes, in a sense it is, but a lot of it is also on the edge of towns and cities, which can be developed and should be developed. So if there are already services available there, it makes sense to start building there. We're not talking about building skyscrapers in the middle of the countryside. We're talking about developing land that's not being used at the moment on the edge of towns and cities. Now, you're also talking about taking power away from local councils or local authorities. Well, it'll be councils and local authorities that will decide whether the projects go ahead if they meet the planning criteria. And then finally, of course, he uses the local communities response to all of this. And local communities, of course, is a code word for NIMBYism. Not in my backyard. So, of course, as we know, there are many Conservatives who have voted against policies, even Conservative policies, which would develop more property, more housing, which would result in more housing. They have voted against those. And in many cases, it's because, well, the Conservative MPs in question are landlords, or they're in areas where they're concerned that house prices may drop, and this will cost them votes. This could see them lose support to the Liberal Democrats, for example. So they have voted against policies, even policies put forward by their own party. So, of course, some Conservatives will push back here, but they don't have the majority to stop it. There's a desperate need for housing, and young people are not able to get on the property ladder because house prices are too high and there's insufficient supply. That needs to change. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you next time for our next Fool of the Week.